Hi everyone, this is Ray Selvadurai, Director of Coaching for Manhattan Soccer Club. The topic for Tactical Thursday this week is building from the back. The purpose of these videos is to provide a general overview of how we train tactics here at Manhattan Soccer Club. We encourage players to watch these videos as well as parents to get an idea of some of these concepts. But the key thing is we want our players to become students of the game. The best learning tool in my mind is to watch as much soccer as you can. That's a great way to learn your tactical concepts. So after you watch this video on building from the back, go watch your favorite English Premier League team play and see if they're trying to accomplish the same things tactically and if the concepts exist there as well. In coaching, we love to give credit where credit is due. I want to thank Coach Michael Jolly out of England for putting this video together that's in this hyperlink. It is a great learning tool and provides a great framework for tactical organization. I'd love all our MSC players to watch it, learn from it. We're going to refer to it in this video. Some slides are going to be taken from it. So again, thank you, Coach Jolly, for putting this together. As coaches, we all share best practices. Before moving forward, though, I do want to get some terminology down in terms of tactics. First, phases. There's 4 phases of the game. These phases are taught universally throughout the world. At every youth academy, every professional level, you'll see it. When you watch games on TV at a professional level, you'll see that these phases exist and how every single team attacks it is their way or their game plan. And that's something that we have here at MSC. The MSC way is our way through game analysis, game performance, and our training plan to make sure that our players are prepared to perform tactically in certain moments in each phase of the field. Simple phrase, seems pretty simple, but it's very difficult because it really does take years of training to get down and a lot of comprehension from players and a lot of great performance from players. So there's a patient view at Manhattan Soccer Club in terms of gaining tactical knowledge. At the U8 through U12 levels, it's basic. We lay the foundations for tactics, small-sided situations such as 7 versus 7, 9v9, smaller fields. From U13 to U14, I call that the intermediate tactical learning ages, where for the first time, these players are on full-sided fields playing 11v11. They're learning their phases, they're learning their MSC way. There's going to be some mistakes along the way. There's a lot of physical development that still has to happen, a lot of maturity, and a lot of mental development for the game during these ages. So I do expect some mistakes to happen from U13 to U14, but these are learning years. From U15 to U19, this is the more advanced years for tactics. We expect our players to have a really good understanding of their phases and a great understanding of our MSC way or our game plan or our training plan so they are prepared to perform in those phases of the game. Again, easier said than done on a slide. It takes years of training and years of patience, but in 22 years of coaching here at Manhattan Soccer Club, our players learn their tactics and are able to succeed on the field. This next illustration highlights those global concepts that I talked about, or phases of the game. There are 4 phases of the game. If we're going from right to left, the right side of the field is more the defensive side. The left side of the field is more the attacking end. This week, we're focusing on building from the back, which is all the way to the right. And again, we want to train these concepts in possession. So moving forward, we're going to try to advance the ball into the consolidation area or the incision area, which is a kind of a combination of the midfield and the attacking area. And then to try to advance the ball closer to goal so we can try to finish, which is the most difficult thing to do in the sport, is scoring goals. So again, these are the global concepts. These are the areas of the field that we need to be prepared for tactically in order to perform. So again, the focus of this week, all the way to the right, the defensive end, building out of the back in possession. After gaining a general overview of the phases of the game from the last slide, I want to now get into the general concepts of what we call the MSC way, or how we prepare our teams and players to perform tactically in these 4 phases through our training plan and also through match play and analysis. So for us, the game is played in 5 moments in each of the 4 phases of the game. Those 5 moments, very simple. In possession, our players and teams need to know what we need to do when we have the ball in each of the 4 phases. Second, out of possession, when we don't have the ball and we're defending. Our teams and our players need to know tactically what to do in each phase of the field when out of possession. 3 and 4 is what we call the transition aspect of the game. 3, winning the ball, going from defense to offense. Teams and players need to know exactly what they need to do tactically in each of the 4 phases of the field when we win the ball. Same when we lose the ball, when we go from offense to defense. And then lastly, our set pieces, our organization on both sides of the ball, where it's an offensive dead ball or set piece, or how we're going to defend an opponent's dead ball or set piece. Again, very simple framework, very general framework, but very, very difficult to train. It takes years of training, and also it takes a lot of comprehension from our players in order to perform tactically with success. Now let's get into the key goals and key aspects of building from the back in possessions. Number 1, most of our teams in Manhattan Soccer Club, when we get to full-sided 11v11 soccer from the ages of U13 and above, we usually play out of a 1-4-3-3 or 1-4-2-3-1 formation. Again, these are numbers, they're organizational tools, but they are attacking styles because we're throwing numbers forward. So it's so important to us to gain the concepts of building from the back and able to build the ball from the back end through our midfield to our forwards' feet in attacking area. It's going to create better possession closer to goal, and it's going to create some more scoring chances. And as I mentioned before, scoring goals is the most difficult thing in the sport in the finishing phase of the field. 2, when does the building start? When does possession start from the back? Well, it usually starts when the ball is at number 1 or position number 1, who's the goalkeeper. Now that can happen as a goal kick. That can happen when the ball is played from the other team and the goalkeeper has it in his possession, either his feet or his hands. So it's really up to the goalkeeper to make a decision if we can build from the back in possession. And that all starts from the goalkeeper's first decision. If he can make a simple low-risk pass to get the possession started, if he can't, then he may have to play the ball and advance the ball further upfield. So if we skip down to number 8, you'll see that goalkeeper punts and long goal kicks are really the last resort. If we cannot build, if we cannot possess from the back, then a goalkeeper is going to punt the ball or we'll take a longer goal kick and try to advance the ball upfield that way. These situations we want to keep to a minimum because they create 50-50 possessions. Anytime a ball is punted up in the air or a goal kick is put up in the air, it's no longer in possession from the back. We don't have control of the ball. It's anyone's ball. So ideally, we'd like number 1, the goalkeeper, to be able to play a low-risk pass to start the possession sequence from there. Now going back up to number 3, every player when we're building from the back, whether it's the goalkeeper, whether it's the defenders, our midfielders, and our forwards, you need to understand your positioning and organization, especially in the defensive end of the field when the ball is there. We are now opened up. You'll hear coaches use the term open up, right, when we're in possession of the ball. So when we're open up and we're in possession of the ball, we're susceptible defensively because we're not as compact anymore. So if we lose the ball and we make poor decisions in the back third, right, then it could open us up to some trouble there. All right. So again, everyone needs to understand their positioning when we have possession of the ball in order for us to advance the ball from the back third. 4, all players need to make simple, low-risk, and patient decisions on the ball. We really want to cut down turnovers when we're possessing the ball in the back. A turnover in the back could lead easily to a goal for the other team. So I always tell people, try not to pinhole a pass. If you got to squeeze a pass in between 2 opposing players, it's probably not the right decision. Okay? So each player, when they understand their position and they receive the ball, they need to make simple, low-risk decisions and patient decisions on the ball. Next, number 5, keeping the other team off balance, meaning we move the ball side to side and laterally. If a team is pressing us, right, from our opposition, they'll be very, very hard, to take the ball from us if we're moving them laterally from side to side. It's very hard to defend when you're pressing somebody and they're getting you moving from side to side. So let's keep the other team off balance at number 5, and that helps. That comes from our positioning, that comes from our organization of our team, and the ability to make simple, low-risk, patient decisions on the ball and our passing. Number 6, and this is the key here, players need to identify the right moment to play the ball forward to advance the ball upfield in possession. I always tell my players, play forward when you can. Now, you can play the ball forward from the back third into the consolidated, into the incision area, which is that midfield area, those phases, right? The idea is to advance the ball. So if you're able to receive the ball from the back, turn, and look forward, you should try to advance the ball if you can, either through a pass or through a dribble. Next, as we advance from the back line and back phase of the field, right, we want to squeeze the field. You'll hear coaches use that terminology a lot. That means when we advance the ball from the back into the middle third, which is that consolidation area and incision area, and into the attacking third, then the backs need to move further upfield together, right? And it's not to pull people off sides. It's really to kind of reduce the space, get more numbers, play in the other team's end of the field, and throw more numbers in there. So that's what we mean by squeezing the field. The next series of slides is going to highlight the goals and aspects of building out of the back in possession. In build-up slide number 1 here, you'll see that the ball is with position number 1, which is the goalkeeper. And this gives you a good idea of what our positioning, shape, and organization should be like when we build out of the back. As you see, goalkeeper, again, number 1 has the ball. Our center backs, number 5 and number 6, are split. And now with the new FIFA rule that allows players to receive the ball inside the 18 from the goalkeeper, number 5 and number 6 can enter the 18 and receive a pass, a simple pass from the goalkeeper to get our possession started from the back. The new rule is now helping possession from the back. Our players are now used to that rule and use it well. As you see, the outside backs 2 and 3 are further upfield. Our center midfielders, the number 10, the number 8, and the number 4 in this situation, are more central, and they're trying to receive the ball from our backs in these type of areas in order to play the ball into the middle third of the field and try to advance the ball. So you can visualize that there. The number 4 is our defensive central midfielder. And since our 2 center backs are split, as you see, to number 5 and number 6, if we lose the ball, it's important that that player is there to defend that central area. Most of the goals come centrally, and we want to make sure that we don't allow the other team to enter our 18-yard box with the ball at our feet. So that number 4 is there for a reason. And as you see, our forwards are further upfield. Our number 7 and number 11 are out wide because those are good attacking positions to receive the ball. Our number 9 up top is more central and is a target player. And we're hoping that we're able to get the ball to that player regularly to feet so we're able to attack. And that's where the possession comes in. So this gives a really good understanding of shape and positional organization in build-up slide number 1. Build-up slide number 2 here really shows a finer point in the organization of our defensive 4 or our back 4. As you see, when the ball is at number 1 with our goalkeeper and our center backs are split, number 5 and number 6, we always tell our outside backs to stay higher than the opposition. Okay, so you see number 2 and number 3 are further upfield. The opposition are the number 9 and the number 10 from the other team in black. Those are the forwards. So as you see, our outside backs are higher upfield. Those outside backs now become more difficult to defend by the number 10 and the number 9 from the opposition because they're further upfield. If the number 2 was further back and in front of the number 9, then they become very easy to defend. If the number 3 was further back and in front of the number 10 in black, then they become very easy to defend. So when you have this type of shape, it allows for better possession, and it becomes very, very difficult to defend by the opposing team's forwards. And by the way, I'd love to get other teams' forwards to have to defend because that really keeps them from their main goal, which is trying to score goals against us. So if you see this shape right now, if you're a defender out there right now, with an outside back, a center back, right? This should be your positioning when we're starting to build from the back in possession when the ball's at number 1 and the goalkeeper. Let's take a look at build-up slide number 3. And we know now that possession when we're building from the back starts when the ball is at number 1, which is our goalkeeper. So in this sequence, number 1 passes to his center back who's split, number 5, and he's able to look and try to advance the ball upfield. And you see what his options are when number 5 has the ball. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 potential options in front of him. This all can be played forward if there is no opposition to him. But to me, the key decision for number 5 is to make the right choice. Try not to pinhole a pass between defenders. Make a low risk and simple decision. Simplicity is the key when we're trying to build from the back. So if there's pressure on number 5, the key option there is playing it back to number 1, who's the goalkeeper, and then we can move the ball over from number 1 to number 6 and maybe into number 3. One of the goals in building from the back and keeping possession is keeping the opposition off balance by moving the ball laterally. So again, good decision making from number 5. The goal is to advance the ball from the build-up area into the middle third of the field, which is the consolidation or incision area. If we can't do that, we recycle the ball through number 1 and look to keep the other team off balance, and maybe the left side of the field through either number 6 or number 3 may be the option for us to play the ball forward. As you see from build-up slide number 4, the positioning, organization, and shape of our backs allow us to keep possession and advance the ball from the back third and into the middle third, which is that midfield area, that consolidation area, that incision area, with a lot of ease. So if you look at the shape of our 2 outside backs, 2 and 3, which is higher up field, and the shape of our center backs, which is the number 6 and the number 5 here, you'll see that type of shape allows us to keep possession. The 2 and the 3 are already advanced upfield in the midfield area, in the consolidation area, leaning towards the incision area. So that shape alone helps us to advance the ball. Also, the shape of the backs, if we can't advance the ball, allows us to keep the other team off balance by moving the ball laterally. As you see, if the ball goes to number 2, and if he can't advance it forward, he can bring it back towards the center back, the number 6 or the number 5, so he can circle it, recycle the ball, and move it to the other side. And maybe our entry point into the next phase of the field is through the opposite end of the field. And again, it's a goal of ours to keep the other team off balance and makes us very, very tough to defend. But also, the key is number 1. As you see, the line goes up and down. So that number 1 is always looking with the goalkeeper to try to support the play with their feet. So goalkeepers, I can't stress enough that your technical skills need to be as good on the ball with your feet as field players. You have to be able to make that simple, low-risk decision and be able to deliver it technically. So keepers, get out there and do a lot of the same technical work that your field players are doing as well. Build-up slide number 5 is a bit more of a continuation of the shape of our defenders when we're building out of the back in possession. Again, you see our outside backs, number 2 and 3, higher up field, almost into that midfield phase of the field already, that consolidation phase that we want to try to advance the ball to. The number 5 and the number 6 are a little bit deeper in support positions. Ideally, though, you're going to hear coaches use the term bounce the ball through midfielders. So if number 6 has the ball and is able to pass it to number 4 or number 10 or number 8, and those players are able to turn and face forward towards the goal that they're attacking, then that's a great place to receive the ball because the passing options become much greater for a midfielder there, and the entry points of going into the consolidation, into the incision phase, and even directly into the attacking phase are greater if midfielders are able to receive the ball centrally. So if you're a defender, a number 2, a number 6, a number 5, a number 3, and you can bounce the ball through your central players, a number 4, number 8, number 10, and if those players can turn and face and play the ball, it becomes an easier way to possess and advance the ball further upfield. And in build-up slide number 6, you see that once the central player, the number 4, the number 10, or the number 8, when they receive the ball centrally and defenders are able to bounce the ball through them in the back third of the field in the build-up area, then look at the options that they have to play the ball and advance the ball if they're able to face with no opposition the goal that they're attacking. The options are just greater for a number 4 or a 10 or 8 if they have the ball centrally. And now as we move up to build-up slide number 7, you'll see that after we build successfully from the back in the build-up phase and now into the consolidation phase, incision phase, which is the midfield, you'll see that the defenders have now squeezed the field. It's a goal of ours if we are progressing upfield in a forward direction and able to possess the ball. So now as you see, our defenders, our outside back, number 2 and number 3, are in the attacking part of the field. They're looking to now be a two-way player, meaning they have attacking responsibilities and defensive responsibilities. Now they're attacking and providing some numbers so we can play in the opposition's end and look to try to score goals through them and set up goals through them. And as you see, our number 5 and number 6 are now squeezed up to half field. Okay, the intention there is to get the other team's forwards moving in a negative direction away from goal, obviously, otherwise they'll be offsides. We're not trying to catch someone offsides. It's just more reduce the space that the other team can play in, try to pin the other team in their end so we can play more possession in their half and play more in their end most of the time. If we're able to do that with success, it's going to lead to more scoring opportunities if we're able to, in the incision phase and in the finishing phase, be able to get some goals that way. So this is the last aspect in goal, and that's squeezing the field, and it's a really good illustration for it. So players, understand your tactics. Be a student of the game. Earlier in this lecture, I stressed the importance of watching as much as you can, as many games as you can. But don't just watch for the highlights. Watch for the tactics. Learn, get the visuals, see how it's done. So after this lecture, you've learned a little bit about the concepts and what we try to do in our training and our goals and our game plan at MSC to be successful in building in the back through possession. Now go watch some professional games. See if they're doing it with success. See if their shape is right. See if they are able to advance the ball with ease when the ball is being started at number 1 with the goalkeeper. So this leads right now to my catch-all phrase. When it comes to your tactical goals and being successful. And here it goes. Individual and team match tactical success occurs when, and in red you'll see, players are able to technically execute proper skill and tactical knowledge and awareness on and off the ball, which means offense and defensive side, in every moment, which are those 5 moments that we stressed earlier that we tend to construct our training plan and our match analysis from for success of the game in each phase of the field, those 4 phases that we talked about: build up, consolidation, incision, and finish, and regardless of position. And I use the example as an outside back. Your outside back's tactical goals, both on and off the ball, are different in each phase of the field. And we train that outside back in each phase of the field and what they're supposed to do in those 5 moments. So again, understand your tactics, become a student of the game. Thanks everyone for checking out my lecture on the basic concepts and aspects of building out of the back in possession. If you got any questions regarding today's lecture, just email me, ray.selvadurai@manhattansc.org, as you see on the screen right now. I'd be happy to answer any questions, have any discussions about tactics. Looking forward to hearing from you, looking to see what those questions are like. Stay safe, stay healthy, keep working at your game, keep working on your technical skills and your conditioning. Study your tactics, become a student of the game. We will be back on the field before you know it. I hope to see everybody really soon. Take care.